The gentleman from India, Mr. Shreve, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate this opportunity to offer a statement and to ask a question of our witnesses. As some of my colleagues have noted this afternoon, America's dependence on China for our essential supply chains is an ever clearer vulnerability. Beijing increasingly dominates in pharmaceuticals, as it has for some time in critical minerals and other core inputs. It's not an academic concern. It's a national security liability. In a crisis or conflict, we can count on China disrupting the flow of basic ingredients and materials that keep our economy and our military humming. Even with America's world-class innovation in manufacturing, our system leans too heavily on China for the chemical building blocks of our pharmaceutical supply relies upon. And that's certainly a big deal back in my state. Take ibuprofen, and I didn't know this until more recently, but Chinese manufacturers, by some accounts, 95% of the ibuprofen sold on our shores. China is the dominant global producer of many of the generic active chemical ingredients, especially antibiotics. Estimates place its share of those API supply chains at around 80%. If Beijing ever turned off the tap, we could count on major shortages in our supply chain within weeks even, if not surely months, depending on the drug. Critical minerals paint a similarly sobering storyline. China controls some 70% of global rare earth mining and about 90% of the refining. Many of us in this committee, and certainly our witnesses, are keenly aware of that. These minerals are the backbone of everything modern. Semiconductors, cars, electronics, medical devices, also big in my state, batteries, advanced defense systems. China's already shown its willingness to weaponize these exports. A full cutoff could halt key production lines in the auto sector or leave hospitals scrambling for critical equipment or choke off components essential to our most sophisticated defense systems, such as the F-35. Dependence on China for these strategic minerals is unsustainable. Congress has a responsibility, working with our allies, to secure, strengthen, and diversify these supply chains that we find ourselves in this preventable crisis. A question first for Mr. Smith, please. You know the growing U.S.-India cooperation in your written testimony. I'm sorry I didn't hear that in person, in the pharmaceutical supply chain security, especially around these APIs, and that's encouraging. Are there additional tools Congress can provide to help accelerate and strengthen this effort, sir?
Thank you for the question. A few things of higher priority. It should be a higher priority for us. I thought we learned our lesson with COVID supply chains. We didn't. I thought maybe the critical mineral supply chains would have woken folks up here. In terms of APIs, first we need a clear mapping of APIs and where they're coming from. We need to be able to separate the China-dominated inputs from those we're realistically getting from elsewhere. I think targeted incentives and faster regulatory pathways to those high-priority APIs, as well as an expansion of the strategic national stockpile that focuses more on non-finished drug APIs and precursors, would be of significant utility. I think we also could work with countries like India on joint workforce training and standards alignment that would make the cooperation easier. But the reality is we're going to have to work with other countries, and India is at the top of the list if we want to get these supply chains off of China. And we have to. We are not an independent and sovereign country if we are reliant on our communist adversary for our key materials.
Mr. Smith, I appreciate that straightforward response. A question for Mr. Shankar. Given Latin America's strategic importance and the wealth of critical minerals, can you detail how our partnership with India can help foster interaction with the Mineral Security Forum members, including south of our border, Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, and Mexico?
India has been widening its presence in Latin America. It's opened up new diplomatic missions there. There's new forms of engagement with that region, including in security and trade. One thing that has been explored has been U.S.-India joint investments through the Mineral Security Partnership in critical minerals in several areas, but there's a lot more that could be done in that area.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, my time's expired. I yield.